Can't say what's going on. Stones taught me to fly. Love taught me to lie. Life it taught me to die. So it's not hard to fall when you flow like a cannon. Oh, still a little bit of your song in my ear. There's still a little bit of your words I long to hear. You step a little closer to me, so close that I can't see what's going on. Taught me to fly. Love, it taught me to lie. Life taught me to die. So it's not hard to fall when you float like a cannon. Stones taught me to fly. Love taught me to cry. So come on, courage, teach me to be shy. 'Cause it's not hard to fall, and I don't wanna scare her. It's not hard to fall, and I don't wanna lose. It's not hard to grow when you know that you just don't know.
You always have it finally, don't you? Yeah.
Well, it remains very successful. It seems to be everybody speaks about the great atmosphere that's generated here. So we have a great return of the book dealers, and an awful lot of people are coming back every year. I think it's very different from having a book fair in a small town where it's a voluntary group that run it, and this seems to generate a different atmosphere than that in hotels. Sometimes they take place in hotels in Cork or Dublin. So this seems to be more a community affair, and it seems to be very successful with our cafe, with the music that's playing here, and it seems to generate a lovely atmosphere for people. Well, I think there's probably all matters, all types of books here, but I think there's a great interest certainly in this area in local Republican history, and I think that this Republican history seems to be very popular. Novels, children's books. Of course, an amount of people then donate to the local historical society, and those books, the donations that are given to the Fethard Historical Society, those books then are sold by us, and they're sold at a reasonable rate. So I think that's a great. It's also generating an interest in books for people in the locality. There's also some rare books that are found here. I think there seems to be quite an interest in poetry books, particularly books by the Irish authors like John Montague, Seamus Heaney, Thomas Kinsella, Thomas Hartnett, and an awful lot of these. There seems to be an interest in these books now as well, and recognising that these publications by our poets are in fact very important cultural artefacts for us. Well, I think books always remain. Books are always part of our cultural makeup. It is obviously somewhat of an older crowd that come here, particularly in regards that it's run by Historical Society. So maybe there's a bit of an emphasis. We are emphasising somewhat on history books, both local history books and national history books. And many families come and they buy books for their children, and they donate these books subsequently. So I think there's also that children who are brought here are also realised. I just think the fun and the delight that books give us.
One second now. His son, Sir John. 1 second now. There's a good portrait of him.
Yeah.
That's wicked old. You always know by the high chimney on the train, because when the boiler got bigger for more speed and more power, they cut by the height of the bridge. So as a result, the chimneys got smaller. Sorry, I'm talking now, they shouldn't be listening.
Certainly with advertising, that we're doing a broader advertising in the latter few years, so people are beginning more to travel to. There's certainly people here from Kerry, Cork and Limerick, and I think we have obviously the local people still support us year after year. It's becoming an important part of the calendar, of people's social calendar. There's an awful lot of people meet here. I think it's one of the first outings, one of the first social outings of the year. I think it's a marked date now in many people's calendar. Roughly about 500 people came here for this weekend. Our numbers don't vary greatly. It varies from we probably be on the high side, but always we've never lowered more than 400 people here every year. I think an awful lot of people who are interested in books come year after year. I think everyone realises at this stage that there's great bargains to be got here. Those bargains are both dependent upon the book dealers, but also on the donations that are given to the society, and we sell them at a very reasonable rate. And so if people are looking for specific books, they have a great opportunity to get them here at a good price. Particularly, there seems to be a wonderful and a growing interest in local history books, and many parishes and small towns broader than this area are publishing their own histories, and they value their own history from their own locales. So there remains a great interest in local history, which seems to have, regardless of all the new technological changes, local history still remains a huge draw for people. But certainly what I've come across, obviously the first edition of Seamus Heaney, was here, signed copies of Wintering Out was here. Then there was some 19th century French books were here. so there was a 19th century French medical book here, and a beautiful book about the costumes of the 17th, 18th, 19th century, just drawings of European costumes. So I think there's a great variety of book here. Obviously, if you have 20 different book dealers coming from the country, from all different parts of the country, from Armagh to Kerry, to Dublin, that everybody, that the variety of books here is quite extraordinary.
Hi, I'm Donald Dawes, and I'm here with Breda, my wife, who's O'Neill Books. We've been coming to Fethard now maybe for, well, more than 10 years anyway. I would say that it's the best book fair in Ireland in terms of the amount of people that come here and the enthusiasm and the atmosphere. We just love it as booksellers.
How are you? I'm Ailby O'Donoghue from Waterford. I have had quite a good day here today. Plenty of interest in my stock and plenty of buyers. And I look forward to come back again next year, God willing. Well, the people that are here that I know are usually book collectors, right? Who are interested in the Irish historical material, and most of my stock is Irish historical. Thanks.
My name's James Vallely from Armagh, Creever Books in Armagh. And I've come here every year since the beginning. I don't know how long it's going now, but what, about 15 years or so?
20 years, yeah.
20 years is that, right, yeah. Time flies. But no, there's a great crowd every year. In fact, Terry Cunningham, an old friend of mine anyway, told me that the first year the population of Fethard was 700, but there were 800 people through the door. So that says something about it. They come from all arts and parts, from Cork and Kerry and Limerick, and well, I come down from Armagh every year. But so there you are. It's always a worthwhile experience. I put out a catalogue every month of Irish-related books, and I'll meet quite a few of them, people from Tipperariana and Limerick and all over. But and then there's also people that only meet once a year, and you know, there's sometimes people will buy books on horses. Now, they're quite a popular item as well. But my main trade would be in Irish-related books, like Irish history and literature in general. You know. But some of the locals I wouldn't be that familiar with. Like people maybe just do one book fair per year. But generally speaking, you get the same sellers travelling all over Ireland. Like there's a bookseller here from Cork, Barbara O'Connell from Skull Books, and herself and her husband have been coming to Fethard this last 20 years, and they run a book fair in Cork themselves, and they also used to run a book fair in Dublin, which is still going strong even though they've retired from it. But you know, there's a few Dublin booksellers here as well, like Betty Murphy there from Newcastle, County Dublin. I can't really see any trend. Like the same sort of books have been, like the most popular, you know, the best sellers would be Irish history. And particularly, like at the moment, you know, sort of 1916 era, that type of book. And but the recession has hit the book trade, like the same as any other trade, any other business, in fact. So, well, hopefully things will get better. But I mean, like there's not so many really expensive books being sold anymore. It's all sort of middle range and very cheap stuff, you know.
Hello, I'm Jim Cooney from Cooney's Books in Muckroom. I've been coming here with about, I think it's 8 years now. and I've always been very pleased with the reception, very friendly, cafe, music, great atmosphere, and I make money as well, which is, I suppose, the fundamental purpose behind all of these adventures. But it's certainly a great book fair, and I find I make new customers every year. There are new customers coming, and very enjoyable, and looking forward to it every year, and I wish it all the best to look in the future. I suppose for me it's ideal because it's on Sunday, whereas other book fairs are on Saturday, so I have to get somebody to take over the shop for me on Saturdays, and it's more expensive, and tables are more expensive, and it's nice to travel around and meet different people and build up new customers. But certainly Fethard for me is the best book fair of all. I enjoy it, and I always make money here, so looking forward to it again next year. I think what makes Fethard special is that you get quite a broad range of people. You get ladies particularly that don't seem to frequent the regular book fairs. Somebody should do a master's degree on why men are collectors and women are just readers. And you get young people, you get teenagers, you get children. So for my general stock, I find it very useful to sell paperbacks and to sell generally non-fiction paperbacks and stuff like that wouldn't sell at other book fairs because they're too specialised. Having said that, there are some serious collectors, and they're very willing to pay good prices for good books that they are collecting and that they like. And another thing I think is that people aren't obsessed with condition. They want to read the books rather than just put them on shelves. So that's another plus for Fethard.
Thank you very much.
My name is John Carney, and I'm from Dangan in County Offaly. This is my first year to come to Fethard, and I'm very happy with how things have gone for me here today. The interest was huge. We're here in the way down for all the people coming into the book fair, where most people stopped with us, and we had it was great. A lot of people asked. Not everybody bought a book, but most people we were talking to was about books and stuff like that. And we had a great kind of a social kind of day here anyway. You know what I mean? We met lots of people, and we'd know a lot of people from around anyway. We'd meet them up and down, you know. And actually, in fact, this is I haven't been at a book fair in about 10 years, so I kind of had a fair lot of books. But I said I'd give today a try. It's my first time in sort of 10 years, so we'll see how it goes from now on. I met a few bob anyway. We met the rent anyway, so there was generally it was young and old bought books from us, so we had anywhere we could do a deal, we did it, and people who bought a fair bit of stuff would get them a good bit of discount.
It's a big thing for the Historical Society, because to have the book fair, because it's what keeps the Historical Society running for the year, and to have a successful one is kind of a projected future success for the year, and how many lectures we can have, or what kind of things that we can contribute towards or subsidise when we do have those throughout the year. Today was a good success. It felt successful. There's a big footfall. I'd say this year was one of the busiest. And sometimes I remember 2 years ago saying that this was, you know, that particular year very busy, but we had the same footfall as the year before. But this year I think we did some counting there, a little bit of counting to predicting, and we did well. You know, like Terry does make sure it's advertised really well to be in the Irish Times, he got on the radio, and you know, it's kind of out there a lot. Like, and when you don't collide with anything else big on that day, you know, it seems to work. Like, and you knew there was a lot of people here by when people were saying we couldn't get parking way up Cashel Road, way up Kerry Street, like way up all the streets. Like, so that's kind of particular. One lovely donation, and you know, we don't even know where it came out of. Found it in a lot of books, and through a bit of research, found that there were very early Walter Scott leather-bound novels, 3 very small novels. And just looking last night around, there was a very early first edition publication. Very few of them exist. I think there's 1 or 2 that exist for around 18,000, but we found that our copy was worth a few €100, and we sold it today, which is very good. That was great. And then there's a beautiful poetry book from 1811, and Teague, Henrietta Teague, I think. And that was really good. Like, you know, we got our money for that. Like, and it's lovely coming across the original papers, like an early printing, and seeing the printing of it. And actually, what the person who bought the book said, she loved the spacing between the words. So it's really nice. And you know, even people who would read on their Kindle, it's interesting that they still like holding an early edition book. I suppose if you're a book lover, you're a book lover.
I suppose, yeah. We have to say I instigated this 20 years ago because I visited a friend in Armagh who became a book dealer. He was a flatmate in Dublin, and then we started obviously in '96. So this is the 20th year. We put thinking into the first one, a lot of thinking, and we picked the time and the date of the year, and that you needed a cafe, and that we had a piano player on stage, and so we thought we made it into, and then made it into a social situation, and we circulated. We thought our market would be mainly people interested in history, Ireland, Tipperary, and the second year, in fact, was called the Tipperariana Book Fair because we produced a little booklet called Tipperary, which was a kind of compendium of all Tipperary books. So it just works now. It works, but because we do a lot of publicity, we post to people. Now we do Facebook, obviously, and we do emails, and we generally keep people happy. We keep the prices down. That's the big thing. €2 in the door. Then there's donated books. They're cheap. And so, and the dealers, we keep, the stall here is kind of €35. It is $18.90 in the normal book fairs in Cork and Dublin and Limerick. So the dealers are happy. They sell more books here than they do other places. It's amazing. There's 35 dealers here this year, and like they were all happy. Some very happy. Nearly no one unhappy. So amazingly, it works, but we kind of mind them. People go where they want to go. They want to go back to the same position they had last year. So, like everyone is kind of minded. Prices are kept down. People can't complain because, well, the prices are low, and like that's fine. That's the way we wanted. We're in it for we make money out of it as Historical Society, but we're in it for enjoyment too, and we don't want hassle. So if we keep the prices down in the door, prices for the stall down, well, people can't give out to us because, you know, it's it's reasonable. So therefore it works and people come, and that's all I can say. It's a lot of work, all right, at the time, but it's kind of good work. It's a line of business here at Historical Society. So yeah. It's the kind of thing that works. It makes the money for the year. It's our kind of people. It's what we can do, what we can manage. We kind of, the people in the Historical Society, we kind of know this kind of the book business and who might be interested in things. So yes, so in that sense I enjoy it. It's kind of it's confined, it's definite, we can handle it. Yeah, it's doable, it's doable, and it makes money for the year, keeps the society afloat, and we're able to do different projects or publications with it, and that, yeah, it kind of works. That's the simple answer, it works.